So I want to talk a little bit about preparing your framing now for drywall. It's one thing to build your walls and to lay them all out and get your studs in the right positions and so on. But you also have to make sure that before your framing project is done that you've got your walls prepared for drywall. You want to make sure that anywhere your drywall is going to end, where you have an inside corner, an outside corner, or any other kind of shape, that you've got a good solid framing behind that corner to give it support. Without that support, that drywall, despite any kind of metal reinforcement or taping you might do, over time that wall will start to move, the drywall section will start to move a little bit and crack those corners and move around. You want to make sure that you've got your framing tied up behind it and a nice solid place for that drywall to be secured. I'm going to take you around here and give you some ideas, especially in a basement project where beyond just normal wall construction you can run into some problem areas and you need to make sure that you're going to have a place for that drywall to terminate nicely. Here's an example where we have a wall that is intersecting into the middle of another wall. So you've got this big wall running across the exterior here, and here we have a closet wall running this way, tying into the middle of that far wall. The way we laid this wall out is we happen to use this stud here, which is one of our 16 studs on 16 spacing, and we line up our closet wall. We just happen to line it up on that stud. So here we've got a nice solid corner to tie our drywall into. We did not have another stud over here because our next 16 stud would have been this one. So here we do not have a stud directly behind this one in the wall. We do have one on this side for a tight corner, but we need one on this side. So here what we're doing, as I showed in a previous video, is we're using some small pieces of blocking in the back that we nail to the face of this stud or to the opposite face of this stud, and that gives us something to nail here. And then we can locate this stud right up and down. So you've got some blocking at the top, in the middle, and again at the bottom, and it gives us now a nice rigid corner here for the drywall coming in from both sides. Now here's an area that looks pretty damn ugly, and there's a lot going on over here. Again, we're in a basement. We're working around some structures and things that already existed, working around some steel poles, we're working around a staircase. This happens to be a staircase landing right here that we had to work around. We also have ducting overhead, and so on and so forth. As part of the staircase landing, we've got these support beams coming down in four corners, here, there, and each of the other two corners, and a lot to work with. What we have here is one wall on this room that's going to be a straight wall turning into a half wall, so we're going to use the back of that staircase as a flat wall, and we're also going to bury our steel poles here into that wall here. So if we line up our wall here, we position it so that this roughly 3.5 inch pole is right inside of these 3.5 inch studs. So when we put our drywall on, it's going to cover right over the top of that. The problem is this support pole now, or the support beam for our staircase landing, is a little bit offset, as you can see here. So we have to do a little bit of workaround. As we come to the other side, we're going to turn this side of the staircase landing into a small closet. So we framed out our door here. We've got the staircase landing now dropping down inside. We're going to have a lot of storage space under here. We also have a back wall to our closet, and that's going to terminate somewhere in between here. And again, our staircase support beam and our wall are a bit offset. We also have this wall coming straight across in the middle of this long wall. We also have a wall on the other side of this wall that's open to the other room. So we have a lot going on here relative to finishing it up for drywall. We'll start in here. If you look here, we've got our door frame. We've got a small indent here so we can tie off right across the face here of the support beam coming down for this stairwell. We've got a small wall we built under here to go straight across, and with this wall we lined up on this stud to give us a nice corner for our drywall. We come across, and now we're in the middle of this wall over here. So we need something to be able to tie off our drywall on this inside wall. So we've got some stud here, and the same thing. Here we've got drywall coming over. This is the beam for the stairs coming back around over to here, and here we need a stud to tie off our drywall on this side. When you go to the back side, you can see it kind of looks like a mess. But again, we've got a wall coming out in front, so we need our studs on 16s here. We've got a wall coming across the back, plus corners, so we need our studs here on the inside for this inside wall. We also have this wall coming across, which this stud happens to be for the inside wall coming across the back here. So a lot going on. In fact, even where I just needed to make, these are not support studs anyway, just needed to tie off for a place to have my drywall secured, I just used some scrap lumber that was left over. So use this piece, finished it off with this piece over here. You can see a small piece I put across here. Cut some 2x6s or 2x8s to use as the backing plate here against the staircase landing, and then the drywall that's on the inside of that wall. So again, a lot going on. We also had our staircase, the flight of 3 stairs going up to the first floor. Right here you can see our stringer. So we had to work with these angles and the stair cut-ins. So this stud, the 16 stud along this wall, happens to end right underneath the stringer. And so what I did is I cut off these studs, built a cap plate over here, and then worked to tie this off to finish this 16, because I can't put a full stud width in here anymore because I've got the stringer in the way. So I turned a stud on the outside, ran it the rest of the way up to finish my 16 stud here. Then I had to give myself a place to nail drywall to on the inside, so I threw a piece here, small piece 45 here, and another piece over here to finish off this corner that I've got on this side. So again, looks kind of messy with a lot going on, but what this is going to do is give me surfaces to mount. Was able to use a lot of my scrap lumber and be able to tie off all the places where I need to finish off my drywall.